both shall fall into the ditch. Giving all praise to Yahweh Shemal Shah B'Ashem Kakwadash. This is from Matthew 15 verse 14. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. What I did was I made it easy for myself. I put in the word blind as a word search in the blue letter and picked out a couple of precepts, and some other precepts came to mind. But I'm going to focus mainly on these. And I'm putting this video together because of the news, recent news of Polite, or Brother Polite, with the whole rape case. And you have everybody making videos about the whole focus is on Polite and his situation. And even yesterday, the last video that Sarnetta did, he cut Polite off altogether. He said he doesn't want to deal with the man no more. He don't want him coming around. He basically cut him off. And everyone in their mama, so as they say, is making giving their take on the situation like it's something that never happened before. Well, this happens, and other individuals that have made videos, recent videos about this subject, have said that this happens all in the community. This happens every day. But because Polite got charged, they're going to look at him as the worst individual on the planet Earth for what he did. Which, if you were the father of that child, you would want to kill that dude. You know? You don't want to hear no evidence or nothing like that. You want to straight up kill somebody like that, or anybody that does that to your daughter. Anyway, like I said, this happens throughout the community, man. You know, when you go into the statistics, they'll give you, 1 out of 5 women in the hood, so-called black women or whatever, Latino. So that happens big in the Latino community. I know that for a fact. I dealt with chicks that said that their fathers, touched them and all that. That's big in the Latin community. But that's also big in the so-called black community, man. So they're making a big deal about it, which I understand why Sarnetta cut him off, man, because this is the second time these allegations came up with another case years back. And to be honest, with this whole situation with Polite, I believe the main reason why Polite came down to 34th Street camp is to get some sort of justification of him, laying with a younger woman, which these women are not these women are not children, they're women. Once you reach puberty, in the case of a man, I reached puberty at about age of 11. I had friends that were, boys, and friends that were girls, and I never thought about touching no friend that's a boy. We used to play spin the bottle. I'm talking about when I'm 10, 11 years old. All my friends, we used to grab their asses. We used to go to some corner and deal with them. Not put our penis in them because we had no place to go, but we would do everything but that. We would go to third base with them. I'm talking about when I'm 10, 11 years old. I knew the difference between a boy and a girl. I knew that you deal with your boys in the hood a certain way, and then when you get with certain girls, there's certain girls you have your eyes on, man. And why is that? Because you have reached puberty. When you were 8 years old, 7 years old, you wanted to watch cartoons and so forth. But when you hit, let's say around 11, your first thing that changes is your voice. So I remember asking my mother, why is my voice getting deeper? And she said, because you're becoming a man. In the ancient world, you had, for the most part, you had men that were established, that were rich or well off, and another man would give their daughter to you, in marriage. And usually the man that's established might be in his late 20s, early 30s, early 40s. And the man that you do business with might have a daughter that's 12, 13 years old. And back in the ancient world, you would deal with them. But so, this happening now is no different than what happened in the ancient world. Or the situation with R. Kelly, he's in court now, and they're bringing up witnesses. Women at that time when R. Kelly was dealing with these women, he was dealing with them in their high school years. 14, 15, 16 years old. He also had married Aaliyah when she was much younger. Now in New York, you can deal with a woman that's 16 years old, or marry a woman that's 16 years old. Other states, you can marry a woman when she's 14 years old. In Boston, you can deal with a woman, have consensual sex with a woman at 16. So Esau put age limits on, women and men as to what's considered statutory rape or whatever. But in me saying all of this, your eyes are off the mark. You don't know what's going on around you. You don't know what's getting ready to happen in the very near future, and it's happening now. This whole thing with the jab, that's why they're pushing it so hard. Leela Ali said she ain't with it, and they demonize her. Other Jakes demonize her. Busta Rhymes, they had just did a video on MREC TV, and they were speaking about Busta Rhymes saying he ain't with it. And basically you got people like Roland Martin, whatever his name is, saying, pretty much saying he's stupid for saying that. Well, there's a split now. See, Jake doesn't know why they don't want to take it or do want to take it. The ones that don't want to take it, it's in their spirit. There's a kid, well, he's a young man in his 20s, and his mother told me, and she's a nurse, she said she ain't taking that shit. She's a nurse. She's in the hospital every day. She ain't taking that shit. And she can't tell you why. She's the spirit. And she said, my son don't want to take it either. Now, this dude, if you saw him, you'd swear he's an Edomite. I said, man, that dude ain't no Edomite. That dude's a Jake. Based upon him saying he ain't taking it. He can't tell you why he ain't taking it. He just ain't taking it. The spirit witness with our spirit, that pursuant to Romans 8 and 16, that we are the children of the Most High. So for years, I'm thinking this kid is an Edomite. This kid is a Jake. And And this is why you have some that will not take it. There's something in their spirit saying that they'll take an aspirin, they'll take, you've been in the doctor, you had some type of ailment, and they gave you prescription drugs, and you took 2 or 3 until you felt better. You threw away the rest of them. Excuse me. But something about this here, people just don't want to take a certain segment of our people, because it's going to lead to something else. I hope y'all saw last night's. Today's date is 8/25/2021, a year of hastening of the coming of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And I hope you watched Rethink the Dollar with Mike. I don't know his last name, but he had a couple of callers talking about the jab and talking about money, and he had showed an article from one of the news, I forget what newspaper, and I went back to see it, and that was put out in April, about the Pentagon implanting something in you that they can that thing that they're going to implant inside of you will detect whether you have the jab or not, or whether you have the Crown Vic Royale. So right away, if you're a part of GMS, what pops in your head? The MOTB. See, these jabs are nothing more than a Trojan horse to deliver the charagma to you. And you have Israelite camps that just can't see it. We've been saying this for years. It's happening right now. This is part of your reality. So now you have these other camps members, they're beginning to consider maybe GMS was right. Well, some of them are outright saying it now. Now they're saying, yes, there is. If they went against it for years, now they're saying what we're saying. Anyway, now I want to go into the so-called, as they say, the black community, whatever the hell that means. And they're intrigued by the case with Polite, like it never happened before, Meanwhile, you got cousins and uncles and relatives that are doing that. Like Jake would say, they say, Uncle so-and-so, you got to keep your eyes on him, because he's always, talking about, I'm going to take your little daughter to get some candy, and he's doing something else. And you don't want to offend, so you don't say anything. You just keep it, you just keep the little ones from around this guy. Real talk. But with all that being said, we're living in a time of the last, as I said this before, the last major prophecy before the destruction and the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. And you Jakes just can't see it. First thing, you have to know that you're an Israelite. You got to throw off that Kemetic consciousness, and the Most High is killing that. The Most High is destroying that whole Kemetic thing. Basically, it's just a big ball of confusion. And they always question the Hebrew Israelite thing. Why do they always question the Hebrews and the whole Hebrew Israelite thing? And the attack is on the Israelites, because we are the Israelites. And the spirit on the left-hand side, physical and spiritual, set these guys up, because maybe they're coming against it and not getting a bag. We're coming to the time of the end. The great separation is here, man. Let me give you this precept just came to mind on Amos. Amos 9. I'll start at the 8th verse. Behold, the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom, which first and foremost is referring to Israelites, Jake. And now we use it to refer to the Edomite kingdom, the Edomite nation. It said, behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it, this kingdom, because he destroyed us and our kingdom from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. Because the house of Jacob, you have a remnant, which is known as the elect of the house of Jacob. So the Most High is only dealing with the elect. Now the elect are not a part. Well, we come out of the community, the so-called black community, whatever the fuck that means. We come out of that community. We come out of the so-called black community, and we become one separate group pursuant to Revelation the 14th chapter, redeemed from the earth, the 144,000, the elect. As we said, we've been saying it for years. The Most High is only dealing with the elect. It said, for lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. So we're scattered from among all the nations. We look like all the nations. That goes into Matthew 13, the wheat and the tares. Let them both grow together, and at the end the angels will separate them and bound the tares in the bundles and burn them. And that oven that the angels are going to put the tares in refers to the destruction. America will be destroyed, like as shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. And in other words, the elect will be preserved, the rest will be destroyed. It says, all the sinners of my people Israel shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. So the ones of you that can't get this, that's all right. The Most High is going to destroy you anyway. And he's going to destroy more of our people than he's going to actually save. So now let me come up here to just give you some precepts. Deuteronomy 27 verse 18. Cursed be he that maketh the blind to wander out of the way, and all the people shall say, so be it. Now the word there is amen. I say so be it. Or truth. Cursed be he that maketh the blind to wander out of the way. What is the way? You're an Israelite. Don't take the jab. If you're a man, start teaching this truth. Eat this roll and go out and teach the sons or the children of Israel. Keep the laws and the statutes and commandments to the best of your ability. Keep the high holy days. Keep the Sabbath. Read the scriptures. Learn the scriptures. If you don't know the scriptures, come up under teachers that will teach you. And this is the reason why we put so many videos up, because it's mainly for the ones that are coming into this thing newly. Now you individuals that came into this back in 07, 08, 09, you're teachers now. You're teachers. At one time, we did a lot of communicating, with the different brothers from the different states, and we had a lot of the brothers come out to New York. We even had brothers come. There was 3 or 4 brothers came out from England. Well, that doesn't happen no more, because they're grown up. They don't need to be under our wings. They're teachers like we are teachers. So we'll come together when the kingdom comes. And that's why the Lord ain't going to give you no communication with himself. Let's say the Lord said, here's my number, here's my cell number. Man, he'll be blowing up. He'll be blowing up. His phone will actually explode. And they showed you that in the movie Bruce Almighty, when he's at the computer and all the emails that he got, and he went crazy. Anyway, let me get back into these precepts. Deuteronomy 28 verse 29, and thou shalt grope at noonday. Now noonday represents the highest, where the sun is highest in the sky. And we are now at the noonday of Esau, meaning once you hit the noonday, then the sun starts going down. So guess what? The sun is going down on Esau. There's a song that Elton John did called Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. And we take it to mean that he's singing about Esau's kingdom going down. He doesn't want Esau's kingdom to go down. But personally, I believe Elton John is a Jake. I believe he's an Israelite. Oh, but he's a faggot. Well, guess what? RuPaul is a faggot too. That doesn't make RuPaul not an Israelite. It says, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness. So here the light is here. The sun is in the highest spot in the sky. Because we're telling you that you're the Israelites and you're groping around looking for the truth, questioning whether you're an Israelite or not. That's why we here at Great Millstone, we don't engage in debates. We don't got to debate you. We know that we have the truth. We're 100% sure that we have the truth. It says, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. That's the curses. As a nation, you're going to have some Jake that do well, but you have other Jakes that are struggling. More Jakes struggle than Jakes that are doing well. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoil evermore, and no man shall save thee. Isaiah 29 verse 18. Let me do this. Let me go to Isaiah 29 and open another tab. Isaiah 29. I'll start at 9. Stay yourself and one to cry out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. You stagger all over all of these different philosophies. That you're a Kemetic, you're a strong black African princess. You're more. Those are not the ways. The right way is that you're an Israelite. 10 verse, for the Lord Yahweh have poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep. If you can't get this, you're in the spirit of deep sleep. Pursuant to Isaiah the 6th chapter. And who put you in that deep sleep? The Most High. There's an angel that's appointed over the blind of Israel, and have closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers. The seers have he covered. So you got some of these guys in the community that say that they're prophets, they're divine leaders. They're lost. They're blind. It said if the blind lead the blind, they shall what? Both fall into the ditch. You're going to take that chip and then you're going to be destroyed. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed. And that words of a book that is sealed is the scriptures, because you can't understand the scriptures. You want to read from the 42 negative confessions or whatever book. These Kemetic books, which lead you deeper into a ditch, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this. And that's talking about the scriptures. I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot. It is sealed. Now, how many of these churches, so-called Christian churches, are teaching about the end of this system? How many of them are telling you not to take the jab, or ultimately not to take the charagma? None of them. Mostly what these Christians do is they sing and dance. They have praise breaks, and they'll read scriptures from the Bible, but won't tell the congregation that they're the Israelites. And a book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he say, I'm not learned. Oh, I didn't attend a theological cemetery. And the ones that attend these theological cemeteries are completely lost, like Vocab Malone. He doesn't understand the prophecies. That's why he makes statements such as the Edomites are done away with. What else does he say? We're not the people. Among other things. 13 verse. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw with me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart, which is their mind, far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. So you find a man, I like the way his garment, flows in the wind. I like the way he speaks. And he might be telling you nothing but lies. Because you don't know who the true men of the Lord are. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder, for the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. Now, Jesse Jackson was considered a wise man and a prudent man and a leader of the so-called black community, whatever the fuck that is. The Esau that appointed him, this is your leader. Now, your leader, Jesse Jackson, just got rushed with his wife to the hospital because of some complication from the thing. And it said that he already took the jab. And you got to try to stay away from them people that got the jab. You got to stay away from them. They're trying to stay away from you. You try to stay away from them. Because this variant, now research is coming out that this variant is coming from them that took the jab. So you got to stay away from them. 15 verse. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Surely a turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay, for shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not. And that's what Esau is saying. Esau is that vessel for dishonor. Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? And that's what Esau is saying, that the Lord, he doesn't have understanding. 17 verse. Is it not yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field, and the fruitful field shall be esteemed as a forest? And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book. So who are the deaf? The deaf. The deaf are the elite, are the elect that the Most High open their eyes. 18 verse again. Now the 17 verse is talking about the kingdom in a few words. 18 verse. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. So who's that? That's the elect. Those are the ones whose eyes are going to be open. Let me look up this word, obscurity. Apal, which means darkness, gloom, spiritual unreceptivity, calamity, or confusion in a word. So you're going to see, the Most High is going to open up your eyes, and you're going to see through all the confusion, and you're going to be ready. Whatever thing comes to you, you're going to be ready for it. Like this jab, you're going to know not to take it, and the charagma, you're going to know not to take that, because ultimately, pursuant to Revelation, I'm a little all over the place, but bear with me. Pursuant to Revelation 15, this is where I'm looking to be. Most High will. Hope for the elect. Revelation 15 verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Most High. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast. Who's the beast? Somebody should do a video on, and I may do it, on who the beast is, because we also always speak about the mark of the beast. But we sometimes we do say it, but you got it. A lot of people will say that term, the mark of the beast, but they don't even know who the beast is. Who's the beast? And over his image, and the image is not a picture of Caesar Borgia for you clowns out there. And over his mark, now that word mark is from the Greek charagma, which literally means something that's engraved in you. And the word mark or charagma is written several times in the book of Revelation, but it's written one other time in the book of Acts. So you read it in the book of Acts. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you to show you that the word mark, charagma, means to engrave. Who the hell am I? Bear me for a minute. Charagma. Even the blue letter says this is the blue letter's definition of the mark stamped on the foreheads of the right hand, literally as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. The mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven work. So the only other time it's written in the book of Revelation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 times, 8, 9 times. And the only other book is the word charagma is written is in Acts 17 verse 29. It says, for as much then as we are the offspring of the Most High, we're the spiritual offspring of the Most High, we ought not to think that like unto gold or silver or stone graven by art and men's devices. That's talking about idols. It says graven by art and men's devices. What are men's devices? The chisel to engrave inside of the stone, or make a piece of jewelry, or make a statue. So we're back here in Isaiah 42 verse 7, to open the blind eyes, to bring, and like the scriptures say, the Most High is not going to open the blind eyes of every Israelite, only the elect. So if you perceive that a man can't get it, hope and pray that this man walks down the street, or if he sticks around, hope that he keeps his big mouth shut, because after a while you can see whether a man can get this or not. These jakes in the so-called black conscious community, they can't get it, so forget them. And you have no business being around them. The scriptures speak about being unevenly yoked together with an unbeliever, pursuant to what Paul said. So you shouldn't be going on Sarnetta. It's like, let's ask Sarnetta cut off Polite. You should cut off Sarnetta. Your job is to teach the gospel. Eat this roll and go out and teach the sons of Israel. Not sit down and rub shoulders or elbows with these blind people. They're not going to get it. Sarnetta's not going to get it. None of these guys are going to get it. So why do you're going against what the Most High said to do? And the Most High is going to destroy y'all for that shit. And then you're not even teaching the truth. The main thing you're supposed to be teaching right now is the coming charagma. And the scriptures as a whole. But you're supposed to warn the people. The scripture, Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter again. And throughout Ezekiel, the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel 33, Ezekiel 15, I believe Ezekiel 18. But Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, speaks about warning them. How the hell you going to warn them people when you're rubbing elbows with them and let them speak? They ain't supposed to say a goddamn thing. Those people are set to be destroyed. They're going to suffer the same death of the Edomites. Because their eyes are not open. And their eyes are not open because the Most High didn't open up their eyes. So in hood vernacular, fuck them, man. Fuck them. I don't give a good goddamn about none of them. Now in the kingdom, will we love them? Yeah, because they're going to be our children all over again. And they're going to be the clowns that's going to have their head, all them conscious niggas, they're going to have their head down in the kingdom for a while. And we're going to be patting them in the back. That's all right, brother. You didn't know. Most High blinded. You didn't know. You know, this is about focus. What do we here at Great Mills, what are we known for? We're known for constantly putting up videos. We're known for constantly being out on the highways and the byways. We're known for constantly doing lessons, teaching you the script. Not sitting down rubbing elbows with some conscious guy, which they're not conscious. Isaiah 42 verse 7. To open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the prison. Now the prison is in your mind, and it's also wherever you are set up under Esau the Edomite. And every last one of you niggas are under Esau, whether you like it or not. And them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. It's not talking about a literal prison house. 16 verse, Isaiah 42 verse 16. And I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not, because you didn't know you were Israelites for a very long time. And now you know that you're Israelites, so your eyes are open. I will lead them in the path, which is the scriptures, understanding the scriptures, having teachers over you that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them, and crooked things straight. There's a song out, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. Well, we can see clearly now. We can see through all the traps of Esau and you jakes. These things will I do unto them. And the them are talking about the elect, not all of Israel, and not forsake them. He's not going to forsake the elect. Is he going to forsake the rest of Israel that's blind? You damn right. He's going to destroy them. Isaiah 56 verse 10, his watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Isaiah 59 verse 10, we grope for the wall like the blind, and we grope as if we had no eyes. We stumble at noonday. This is also in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter I just read. As in the night, we are in desolate places as dead men. So you're a dead man. You're in a dead state. Jeremiah 31 verse 8, behold, I will bring them forth. I will bring them from the north country. The north country is America. And gather them from the coast of the earth. And with them the blind and the lame, the woman and the child, because the blind and the lame, the Most High is going to heal them of their blindness. It says the woman with the child and her that travaileth with child together, a great company shall return thither. Ultimately, we're going to return back to our homeland, and we're going to take the whole world. Okay, I got one more precept that I'm going to close, which I started with Matthew 15 verse 14. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into a ditch. Job 10 verse 18 to 22. Now when you read this is Job speaking about him basically being, it would be better if he was stillborn, if he wasn't born into this earth at all. But what you got to understand is you keep coming back. So if you're not born in this cycle, you're going to be born in the next cycle. There's a thing called reincarnation. Job 10 verse 18, I'm going to close on this. It said, wherefore then have thou brought me forth out of the womb, or that I had given up the ghost, and no eye had seen me? I should have been as though I had not been. I should have been carried from the womb to the grave. In other words, people say, I wish I never was born. Are not my days few? Cease then, and let me alone, that I may take comfort a little. And people, when a person that gets to a certain age, they get to their 90s, they feel all kind of pain, they want to go. They experience life and they're ready to go because they're seeking comfort. And that's spoken about in Isaiah the 57th chapter. It said they rest in their beds. It says even Saul, King Saul disquieted Samuel from his rest, and he cursed him out. He said, why call me from my rest, or disquieted me? And then he made a prophecy from the grave in the form of a spirit. Saul said, am I going to win this battle against I believe it was the Philistines? And he basically said, nope. He said, you and your son both of y'all going to be dead the next day. It says, it goes on to say 21st verse, before I go hence, I shall not return even to the land of darkness. Now the land of darkness is talking about death, but it's also talking about this place that we're living in. This is the land of darkness. 21st verse again, before I go whence I shall not return, because it seems like we're not going to return back to paradise, even to the land, Babylon the Great, of darkness and the shadow of death. King David said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, Babylon is also known as the valley, but the apostle in Ezekiel 37, but David said the valley of death, the shadow of death, the valley of the shadow of death, where death is like your shadow. A land, now when you look this word up, land, to show you that's a physical land, bear with me for a minute. The word is aratazah, which means land. It says a land of darkness. This is the land of darkness, as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order. This is a great place of confusion. That's why you go to the Middle East, you go to certain countries, they'll have a religion. You go to Europe, their religion is so-called their form of Christianity. You go to Arab countries, there's certain Arab countries that in order for you to visit that country, you got to dress in the Islamic attire, and you got to convert to Islam. When in the movie, the Spike Lee movie X, when they shot certain scenes, I believe in Mecca. They actually went to Mecca, and they had to convert to Islam. So there's certain countries where there's only one religion. You got to worship that one religion. Well, in this country, there's a million, I'm exaggerating, but there's 1,000,001 different religions. Even among the so-called black community, they all debate among themselves pretty much on the so-called same religion. It says, without any order, this place is out of order, and where the light is as darkness. And this is the great city of confusion. Let me get that real quick, and I'm going to close. Isaiah 24, verse 10. Okay. It says, Isaiah 24, verse 10, the city of confusion, the word confusion. Let's see what the word confusion is. Okay, that's a different word. Thahor, which means confusion, wasteland, place of chaos. Right, this is the place of chaos, which is Babylon. Babylon, Babal, meaning confusion. It says the city of confusion, or the city of chaos, is broken down. Ultimately, this place will be destroyed. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. Yeah, because this place is going to become the largest desert on the planet Earth. 11th verse, there is a cry for wine in the streets, and looking for the truth. All joy is darkened, and the mirth of the land is gone. Go down to Manhattan. Manhattan is dead. In the city is left desolation, the gates is smitten with destruction. So Isaiah is seeing the destruction of Babylon the Great after the fact. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.